very excited, a little nerve-wracking. I hope people enjoy it, but it's an honor to celebrate the work that a lot of people have contributed over the last 4 years.
I love coming to the UK. I'm thrilled to share Lightyear with them. They've been such a supporter of Pixar since the beginning, and we're just thrilled to be here. I've been connected to Buzz since I started the studio in 1997, and we both worked on many of the Toy Story films. After I finished Finding Dory, I really wanted to make a sci-fi action-adventure movie, and I also wanted to explore about Buzz Lightyear, the character that we've worked on for so much time, but now I'm realizing how much people have a connection to this character. Our context is we've worked on it for a while. We're just excited to show this awesome sci-fi adventure to the world.
So exciting. I'm so glad that we got to come here. You know, there was some worries that, when the movie premiered, are we going to get to come over here to the UK? So I'm glad that we did. And I love London, and we've been getting some good weather,
Really delighted. I mean, Disney Pixar have been a huge part of my life growing up, watching all the movies, and now I'm a father with 2 small boys, even more so. But more than that, I think Lightyear has some really good messages. It's about inspiring kids, it's about teamwork and cooperation, and ultimately it's also about, one person needing help and asking for help. So I think they're really good messages in the movie.
London is one of my favourite places on earth. I know it sounds like a soundbite, but it's true. I've got a lot of friends who I went to high school with here, and I always just enjoy coming, catching up with them. It's wonderful to be here with all of this. The energy here is incredible. Very proud to be involved in a Pixar film. I'm a huge Pixar fan, and and just to be here to celebrate everyone being able to go to cinemas again is huge.
Well, just that. We hope it's an epic sci-fi action adventure.
Yeah, well, it's a very small role. It's just a countdown in mission control. So I'm Tim from Launch Control in the movie. And it was great being part of it, getting to see how everything works, the team behind the scenes. Enormous amount of work and effort, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, goes into making these movies.
Oh my gosh, I love Angus. He's incredible, and watching him work was really just a joy. Also, it was really exciting just to work with Pixar because I've been a big fan of them since earliest Toy Story, Finding Nemo, all the great things that they've done. One of my most newest favorites, Inside Out. So it just feels very nostalgic, yet also new, and just
such an aspirational character, right? He's always trying to do the right thing, and at the same time, he's a little out of step with reality, and so that makes him just so entertaining to watch on top of it.
Well, certainly the first film I saw ever was Star Wars in the theater when I was 3, and it made a pretty big impression on me, and so I've been pretty much haunted by that ever since. But I would say basically the sci-fi films from 1977 to 1987 were the biggest influences.
The talent that we were able to get for this film is really out of this world. Chris Evans, obviously, the quintessential Buzz Lightyear. Like, he is the action adventure hero that you want. Keke is here tonight. Keke Palmer. She plays Izzy Hawthorne. She's basically his motivation for change in the second act. And she carries on the heart that's brought by Uzo Aduba for Alicia Hawthorne. And then, of course, tonight also is Taika Waititi playing Mo. And he brings this directionless character into such focus at the same time. It makes him really funny. So we're just thoroughly blessed.
Tons. You have messages of being a hero and being a leader looks different. It doesn't always mean that you're, being the one in charge and telling everybody what to do, but sometimes it means knowing when to relinquish power to others, how to empower people on your team, how to be okay with having a team, learning that mistakes are okay and you're going to make them, so to own them allows you to be able to move forward, realizing that it's important to change. You can't, hold on to the past. You got to move forward into the future, and that it doesn't matter if you ever receive the big accolades or the validation, the outside validation you might think you need to have. As long as you matter to the people who mean the most to you, then you've mattered.
Because do you know what? I think that there's humility there in the end. He comes out as being quite brash, quite arrogant, knowing everything, and I'm Buzz Lightyear. But as we see in this movie, you see the softer side of him. You see the humility as he goes on his own personal journey.
It definitely was, yeah. I've watched every Pixar film from Toy Story on. I've got 2 kids, and I also watch Pixar films by myself. Sometimes I prefer it. But they're always emotional. They're inspiring, and as a grown man, it's kind of for me, perfect filmmaking.
I think you would make a good astronaut. I think this movie shows the journey he goes on to becoming a great astronaut. In the beginning, he's more like a fast jet test pilot, really doing everything himself. And towards the end of the movie, he realizes the bigger picture. It's about people, it's about getting help, and it's about that teamwork and collaboration. So yeah, I think at the end, he'd make a great astronaut.
Well, Izzy Hawthorne is the granddaughter of Alicia Hawthorne, and Alicia is the partner of Buzz Lightyear when he was a space ranger before they got marooned where they are now. And so Izzy has some pretty big shoes she feels like she needs to fill with her grandmother being such a legend. And over the course of the movie, she really finds her own way and finds her own meaning of how to keep that legacy alive, but also fill it in her own way.
Well, the best message from this one is, I mean, there are two messages. One is that, you don't have to let your own mistakes define you. You can move on from them. And the other message is, sure, there may be things out there that that you think might be better than what you've got right now. But sometimes you just look around you, everything you need is right in front of you.
Well, I think it's a fun action-adventure film, but I think the message is basically don't spend too much time focusing on the future or regretting the past. It's focusing on where you are today and what can you do to appreciate what you have. That's really the big theme.
I think people love Buzz because he makes you feel safe. Even when Buzz doesn't know if things are going to work out, he still feels very in charge and makes sure that he acts like he knows what he's doing, which is something that's quite endearing, I think, about the character, especially when you always see him overcome, in any of these movies from Toy Story to Lightyear. And I think Chris Evans has that same vibe, whether it's playing Captain America or any of the kind of roles that he's done, especially action type ones. He always feels like somebody you're cool with, like, following. Even if he maybe doesn't always get it right immediately, you're like, I trust this guy.
Well, Chris, the traits that Chris displayed very similar to Buzz. He's someone that I feel like, he can carry a movie. He's a leading man. He's trustworthy. He's loyal, and in a lot of ways, he's a perfectionist. He wants to do a good job, and I feel like when you see a movie that Chris is in, you feel like you're in good hands.